Hello, welcome to another episode of the Ask Self-Belief Chief podcast, episode 48. Make sure you're following me on Instagram. The question today is, how hard do I have to work? Now, we need to stipulate what we're talking about. How hard do you have to work at what? Well, it depends what you want to do in life, doesn't it? But how hard do you have to work? People sort of see how often I post. I post twice a day. I do an Instagram live every single day. I do, 5 or 6 Instagram stories. I'm reading my books. I'm writing stuff down. I'm learning. I'm training. I'm watching videos, listening to audio, making sure I do those every day. And people ask me, how hard do I work? And they want to know how hard do they have to work? Now, people think you have to put in, 18-hour days every single day. And the reality is they try and do 18-hour days, they do 16 hours, and then the next day maybe they'll do 10, maybe the day after that they'll do 6, 4, 2, and they think, I've put in all these hours and I've not seen immediate results. You have to find an approach that is consistent. Okay, so rather than thinking you have to put in 18 hours, just make sure you've got an approach which you can replicate every day to build yourself a sense of momentum going forward. So if you've got a job, okay, and you've got to work around that job, and you've got to, you might have time to do 2, maybe 3 hours a day of what you love to do, and you want to work towards it, make sure that those 2 to 3 hours are efficient, they're getting as much work done as possible, and that you are doing it every single day. The problem is when you start missing days out and you start feeling like, it's a bit easier to not actually do all this work and it's more enjoyable and I get more short-term satisfaction if I just do this or that. But you never feel fulfilled in the long term because you're never really chasing after something. And I think you always have to have something to chase after. It's not going to come to you like that, the thing that you want. But if you put in a consistent approach, you will start to see consistent results. So that's what you need to focus on. Not in terms of how many hours you can do each day, because if you can't replicate it each day, then there's no point. By all means, if you can do an 18-hour day every single day, then you're going to do very well, aren't you? But if you can't replicate it, it's better to have a consistent approach of less hours, more efficient hours, and to do that every single day than to put in loads of hours on one day, not many on another, maybe 0 on another. Then you get exhausted and you get tired. Then eventually you do another 18 hours. It just doesn't work like that. If you've got an inconsistent approach to your work, you're going to get inconsistent results. So you need to find some consistency. So find someone that you admire or appreciate and find out what their work ethic is like. What's their schedule? And what they have is consistency. They just do it over and over and over again every single day, replicating, building that momentum, building that sort of confidence and strength that comes with that. And with that approach, they change their mindset. But you can't change your mindset to the mindset that you need to have to become who you want to be if your approach is inconsistent. Because that's what comes with hard work. You get a feeling of that you deserve whatever it is that's available. Before the hard work, you sort of subconsciously question in your mind, have I done what's required to do this? When you work as hard as possible, those doubts don't really come to you. You start thinking, I do deserve this. And the moment an opportunity will come to achieve new things. But it only comes with the hard work in the first place. Now, some people say to me, can I just get someone else to do the work for me? Now, if there's a part of what you do that you enjoy and you can pay someone else to do the other bits for you, then that's great. By all means, do that. However, you miss out on the learning process. If you're starting a business or setting up a brand like I've done, at the beginning, you've got to be the CEO. You've got to be the secretary. You've got to be the speaker. You've got to be the communications expert. You've got to be the marketing expert. You've got to be the chief financial officer. You're going to have to do all of those. But it's through doing all of those that you build this crazy mindset and this level of resilience and strength and courage behind what you do, that you've invested so much of yourself. And when you invest who you are, not just invest yourself, but invest who you are into it, then who you are starts expanding and multiplying and developing, and you become a greater person or a better version of who you already are, becoming the person that you need to be, as I said, to get the thing that you want in life. So it's not just about the actions, it's about the mindset that changes with the actions. I always talk about that. It's, people try and change their mindset or change their mind or think differently or whatever, and they just go straight to the mind in terms of how they can make those changes. It's how you move the body, what you do physically, that changes the biochemistry and in turn changes how you think and feel. So that's what you've got to focus on, is what are the actions, what are the physical actions you can do every single day to build the momentum that's required to achieve the thing that you want to achieve in your life. And that, for me, is what hard work is really about. There are so many stories of people who've worked hard. Muhammed Ali was once asked, how many sit-ups do you do? And he says, I don't count. I do as many sit-ups until they start hurting. And then I just do some more on top of that. Beyonce said she used to forget to sleep and eat because she was working so hard. There are these people who just have this insane work ethic. Elon Musk, his experiments failed and failed and failed, and he just had to put every second of every day, but he had that consistent approach to not take his foot off the pedal, because if he took his foot off the pedal, other people might convince him that this isn't possible for him. So that's what the hard work is about. It's building that courage and that mindset to channel it into something that makes you prepared for greatness. Because at the moment, to be brutally honest, many of us just aren't ready for the greatness that lies before us or that could be open to us. And it's through the work and the grind that you've got to get the mindset that's required to meet the abilities that you might have and to reach the destination that you're supposed to get to. And I know it's difficult and I know it's challenging, but if you can find a way to enjoy the process, enjoy the journey of what you're doing, and the hard work doesn't seem so hard, and you don't call it work, it's your mission in life. My name is David Holman. Make sure that you're following me on Instagram and on Facebook. You can catch up on full episodes of these on, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, on my website. So anywhere you want to catch up on more episodes, then please just contact one of those areas. And I'll sign off as per usual with, if you change today will change your life. So enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your life wherever you are. And I'll see you on episode 49. See ya.